Hi everyone and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer and I'm excited to be here with you today to share today's Facebook Live. So I come to you each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. New Zealand time to share some ideas and inspiration with you. Now today's live is a little bit different. Although I'm coming to you at Thursday at 1:30 p.m. as I am currently over in Australia in Brisbane attending a Stamping Up conference for demonstrators known as On Stage. I've actually pre-recorded this before I left so that I could share with you today. So it'll be like my usual live in the sense that I'm going to share some ideas with you and my crafting activity, but I'm sorry I won't be able to respond as we go, but I will look through the comments and see later on, and I do appreciate you being here. So whether you're taking part live or whether you're watching this recording, thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy today's cards and things that I will be doing. So if you haven't seen me before, I'm a Stamping Up demonstrator based on the North Shore in Auckland, and I've been a demo for over 12 years. In a month or two, a couple of months, it'll actually be coming up 13 years. So I never quite envisaged that when I started. Just thought, I'd do a little bit of stamping and help pay for my hobby, and now I do so much more like these lives and things. Not that everyone needs to, but I've chosen to, and I enjoy doing it, being able to share some ideas with you. So if you watched last week, I shared with you the Cake Celebration stamp set and made some cards, something very simple, and then how to step it up. And I mentioned that this week I'd try and use the dies. So that's what I'm going to do today, is give you some ideas using the dies. So we'll switch to my craft table and let's get started. All right, so here we are. This is the Cake Celebrations stamp set. So you can see it here, both sentiments that you can mix up: happy wedding, happy birthday, celebrate, and then these for making the cakes. If you weren't here last week, I'll quickly do a snapshot of what we made. So this is how you can use the stamps, just a note card and stamping. Step it up a little bit, and we've added the extra border to sort of make that pop a bit more. We did some stamping like this one here, which is what I made on my live. Bit of embossing in the background, some die cuts, and stamping the yellow cake there. I used a lemon lolly, the yellow border on that one, so it's very similar, just a different card base, and celebrate rather than happy birthday. And then this one, which is more white, I made it more of a wedding card. So same kind of cake and things, but different ways. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the dies. So if you have a look in here, these are some of the dies, or these are the dies. So you'll see that some of them, what we're going to use today, I'll put them to the side, are these ones here which help build your cake. We obviously need our cake stand. And there is another extra little bit, it must be in the room next door, that sits on that for the cake stand. And these are if you want to add layers to your cake. You can add a topper on the top, and then that's for the icing, which cuts both of them at once on both of those. And then we've got the other shapes for the flowers and leaves, which are part of the stamps and things as well. So these are ones we're going to use today, along with one more that is for this. And I'll show you, and we're using that one as well. So I've made a few cards, and I'll show you them at the end. But what I thought we would go with today is we're going to go, I seem to have a yellow theme. I forgot that last week's cake was yellow. We're going to go for our stand in the grey, which is grey granite. We're going to have our cake, which is a lighter yellow, which is the lemon lolly. And then we're going to go for the accents of the icing and the filling and things with Daffodil Delight. All right. So what I've done for the sake of time is I have cut all these bits out ready to go. So let me show you those, and then we can put our card together. All right, let's just put that there. So let me show you the bits that I have for my cake. So this is the bottom cake and the upper cake. These are kind of the icing bits. We can add some layers inside, and then this is the extra piece that I was talking about for the stand. So what we'll do is we'll put some of these together, and then we'll make it for a card. So it's actually, once you've got all the bits die cut, it's actually quite quick to put together. I think the decision is like, what color shall I make? So I've made some chocolate cakes. I've made like a pink one as well. And yeah, this, I thought I'd go for more of a lemon sort of colored one. So I'm going to put this on here. So the icing hangs over each side a little bit. So you can see it just hanging over the side as cake does. I don't know if there's a top or bottom. Haven't quite figured that out. And then level at the top. We don't want any of the lemon lolly showing through. And we'll do this one too. I can't put my whole cake together because I need to stick it down on something. Got here there, which we don't want. So we'll put the icing. Got to get it the right way around on this cake too. I wish making a cake was this easy. Do you like making cakes? For my kids, I've always made, you know, a birthday cake every year for their birthdays. All sorts of different things from, you know, depending on what they were into at the time, fancy cakes and things. Yeah, from characters from not movies, but you know, TV programs they like, to all sorts of things. So this one goes on here, which is quite good because then it actually looks more like a stand, but I just need to wriggle it over a little bit so it's more centered. Then it actually looks a little bit more like a cake stand. And I could go for like silver foil or something if I wanted, but that's fine. And then with the layers, this is like, so you could have your cake like that and just have it like this, and that would be fine. But if you want it to look like it's got layers in it, we're going to add this. Now, on one of my cakes, I've done a different color. With this one, I've gone with the same, so it's totally up to you. Now, I have noticed, and I'm not sure why, so if anybody knows, let me know. These are actually slightly longer than the cake, so I just trim them off. I've got a piece of here that keeps coming. It's probably stuck to the glue. It's probably stuck to my finger. So we'll stick that on, and another long one. So basically we're just sort of assembling our cake. Doesn't take an hour to cook in the oven and then let it cool and let it ice. We just do it nice and quickly. So we're going to add a couple of layers. I might just, if it's not too late, move that other one up slightly. There we go. And then we're going to do the same to the top. Sorry, it's quite fiddly, this first little bit, but you'll see how quickly it comes together. So tell me, what kind of cake do you like? I like chocolate anyway. So like a chocolate mud cake is quite nice. I've heard some people recently say a black forest cake, which sounds lovely too. I do like traditional sponges as well. They're quite nice. And I guess another cake that's quite nice is like a carrot cake. All right, so you'll see what I mean, that hangs over slightly. So like I say, I'm not sure why. If anyone knows, I'm just going to trim it off. Not the icing one, because that does hang over the edge. There we go. And the same one here. But I guess the good thing is it's better to be too long than too short, right? I wonder if on the stamped ones, it's a little bit longer. And it fits the stamped ones. That's maybe why. Maybe I just answered my own question. Because if you look at this compared to that, it is slightly longer, so they fit the stamps. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere onto here. Now, the first card I made, my piece was too short, so that didn't work. So let's just make sure, roughly speaking, our cake's going to fit. And then we can put on the top either some candles, or you could use the die, which is that. And I've got cards with both, but I'm going to go with the candles, make it a birthday cake. So we have enough room. Now I'm just gluing it down. I guess if you wanted, you could dimensionalize it. But like I say, it's actually quite quick once you've got your colors and pieces decided. Cut them out, make a few at once, and away you go. So remember this, what you will better get my cake stand level, not good for a wonky cake. You won't find this in a catalogue. It's not in the online, it's not in the mini or the annual, it's in online exclusives. Now I want to make sure my cake is sitting on the cake stand and not floating. Now when I made the other cards, I didn't do this, but I'm going to try it this time. You know what I didn't bring in? And it's little blocks. So I'm just going to grab my little blocks. I did actually, my little blocks are right here. So I'm going to use the two colors that I've got. Now it's a little bit unusual, I know, to do the gray candles, but I don't. Oh, here's the other die. Oh, it's stuck to my stamp. Okay, so we've got some candles here. So what I'm going to do is, can you see? I'm just going to lift up my cake and overlap it slightly and bring it down a little bit and hopefully stamp them straight. I've just missed a little bit there, so we'll just kind of line it up. There we go. Good thing about photopolymer. So when I put it on, hopefully, oh, it's not quite in the center. That's all right. We'll do. We'll cope. Yeah, and then it's not floating, as it were. And then we'll do our flames. Now I find it with the flames a little bit hard to figure out which way, and I usually need to inevitably do it upside down like I did. So stamp it somewhere else first and then line them on top. See, isn't that cool? Our little flames. All right, close up ink pads so we don't get ink where we don't want it. And glue this down. So I guess if I wanted to be really smart, I could stamp a couple more, but I'm just not going to risk it. We'll just go with it. And you could tuck it under slightly to make sure it's definitely not. And I'm going to go left a bit more. It's not too bad, really. There we go. Okay. So there is our cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame that with another piece of grey granite. And there's all sorts of different ways you can make this card. Often I'll show you what I'm making, but this time I haven't. So you've got to wait and see what it's going to look like, which is a bit different. Okay, so that's our main focal piece of our card. So I did try a Daffodil Delight card base with the lemon lolly. I just felt it was a bit too much yellow. So I've gone with the grey granite card base. I am going to have a very narrow piece of white, you'll see in a minute there. And then I've gone with the Forever Plaid embossing folder. And I've embossed a piece of lemon lolly. So this is what I prepared earlier. So you can see how there's just a very little bit of white showing, and then that will kind of work with that. And this will go on here like so. So I haven't done a yellow one before, but I'm actually quite pleased with it. So let's put these together, and we've got to stamp our sentiment. And I'll give you a couple of tips with our sentiment as well. So put that there. And then what I'm going to do on the inside is I'm going to, she says, if she can find it, do the reverse. So I have a little bit of yellow around the edge, and you could stamp something on it as well. And you should stamp before you glue, but I haven't got anything out to stamp, so we'll just stick it on. Okay, so we'll put that on the inside. I like to put something on the inside for two reasons, I'll tell you. And one of them is, you know, it's a bit more interesting and it coordinates the front with the inside. And the other reason is if the front is heavy, then the back is heavy and it's more even, the weight is more evenly distributed and it doesn't tend to fall forward, as it were. So that's another reason why I like that. So the difference between those two is just a 3 mil difference. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is put that on with dimensionals, and now we need a sentiment. So I felt we'll go with grey granite, and we're going to go for the happy birthday. Now the happy birthday are two separate stamps. Now I have put them on a block already, but I'm going to show you how I do it. This is a tip. So I'm taping them off. So if you try it, you could stamp one, you could stamp the other, but then it may not line up. So I'm actually going to use this line here on my grid paper and put happy like so. And they have to be quite close because it's, you know, they're quite wide otherwise. So I'm just kind of putting, it's sticking to me, even closer maybe like that. On that line, sort of the letters before the curvy bit goes. So once I've got it like I want it, then I'm going to pick up my block and put it on top. And now they are nicely lined. Much easier than trying to put it on the block. Now let's have a look and see how that looks. I've stamped slightly. Let's see if I can stamp on a line exactly, because I wasn't being very exact. That looks cool. And is it going to fit on here? Yep. So here we go for real now. I am stamping on a photopolymer mat because it gives a nice, better stamped image. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Excellent. Okay, dimensionals. So width-wise, it's a little bit too wide. Usually I'd use my trimmer just to trim them off nicely and straight, but I'm going to have to do it with my paper snips and hope I got it reasonably straight. All right, let's put it together. So we're going to put that. I'm putting it there. You could overlap, but I think I quite like it separately. So let me grab my dimensionals and we'll put our card together. And then once I've done this, I'll show you other ideas and other colours. So lots of fun making these cards. Yeah, a bit of a shame the cake's a bit wonky, but you know, cakes are never perfect. So it's a handmade card. We learn. Oops. So we'll do that, and then we'll do 3 on here. Oh, look, I'd already had to go on the other side. Which one looks better? I don't know which was the one I... It looks slightly higher. I don't know. Pretty much for muchness. I don't think anyone's really going to notice. Okay, we'll put it on here. I can't remember. I think I actually had another blank piece to stamp on. I had one prepared in case. Okay, cool. Let's take off the backing. I love to use my take your pick tool with this, since I don't have nails. Makes life much easier. Did I get that one off? I did. And I've highlighted, even though it's very light, you can see if the backing is off or not. All right, let's get our cake up the right way. We'll try not to make our poor cake any worse. Just going to place that there, just for placement's sake. About like that. So what do you think of my lemon cake? Who likes lemon cakes? I quite like lemon muffins. I like lemon slice. Lemon cakes all sounds pretty good to me too. And then of course we need to finish it off with a little bit of bling. So at the moment my favorite are these iridescent, because iridescent, what are they called? Iridescent jewels or something, or whatever. I'm going to put a big one because I've got lots of big ones left. Because they go with any colour. That's the great thing. They go with lots of things. So if one was to stamp something on the inside, what could one do? We could do a little flower or a leaf or a star or something like that. But I will just leave that for now. So there's my finished card using the dies. So there were a few dies used, but actually it's quite quick and easy to put together. And then I've gone for a little bit of a yellow on the inside. So that's one card. I have some other cards to show you. So I'll show you the very first one I made. So I made a chocolate cake. Who likes chocolate cake? So this was the first card. And I put it directly onto the Forever Plaid. So it's white. And I used that banner thing this time. And then I quite like I've got an early espresso because of the chocolate theme. The happy birthday stamped in early espresso. And so this is pool party crumb cake with some, must be pecan pie, and then early espresso. So that was one chocolate cake. So that was fine, but I can't obviously stamp candles on that because it's bumpy. So I made a very similar card to what I've just done, but this is what I did to stamp the candles. So I add an extra layer like I did for this. Okay. But the borders are a bit different on this one. You can see there's a wider early espresso. These are more evenly 5 millimeters in between each. And then I've got that and stamped on there. And I decided I didn't want to go for more blue this time. I decided let's go for the crumb cake. So which one do you like? Do you like it with it being stamped directly onto the emboss thing, or do you like the extra frame with the candles? So candles are obviously good for birthday. A banner, you could obviously do this in a blue theme, or you could do a pink theme. It could be like a baby shower kind of cake. All sorts of possibilities. So as well as my chocolate cake, I decided to do a pink one. So have a look at this and tell me if you know what colors I have used. Again, a similar layout. So sort of pinks and purples actually. So we've got this lighter color and then this brighter pink. Anyone want to guess what colors I have used? You can add them in the comments. I'll check later. See if you can guess before I tell you. But it's a similar kind of layout again with the emboss behind and the white piece on the top. And I've gone for the two tones on the inside as well. So this color here, my card base, is Fresh Freesia. So it's a slightly more purple tone. I was looking at Bubble Bath, but I couldn't find any Bubble Bath cardstock, which is a light pink. So we went for Fresh Freesia. Do you know what the darker pink is? It's not Petunia Pop, which is what I used last week. If you have a look, this is it's still a dark color, but not as deep as this one. So that's Petunia Pop. This is Berry Burst. Okay, so that is my cake, which is Berry Burst. So let me show you today's cards using the die. So we've got our lemon cake. We've got our, I don't know what kind of cake, a pink one would be, a berry cake or whatever maybe. And then we've got our chocolate cake. So that's in a similar layout. What's your favorite? Lemon, we'll call it berry, or chocolate. Firstly, which cake do you like more? And then which card do you like more? The yellow, the pinks, or the browns? And then that's a variation on that one, layout-wise. So as you can see, cake celebrations with all the cards, which we can use with our stamping, as well as our dies, has a lot of potential. And it's not just birthdays, like it can be wedding, it could be baby shower, it could be a celebration, it could be all sorts of things. So if you're looking for this, remember it is in the online exclusives, and you can obviously get them as a bundle and things too. So if you're interested in purchasing it, feel free to look on my online store and order online, or contact me and I can help you with your order. All right, so that's really all for today. Yeah, just to show you this wonderful set. I'm at On Stage, and I'll get to see, I'm not sure if it'll be today or tomorrow, the new catalogue, which will be very exciting, but that doesn't actually start until May. So you've still got a month or so of that left, or more than a month really, 6 weeks or something. Just bear in mind that the old in colours will be going soon. So that's your, I should come back to me, shouldn't I? Let me change my camera. Where are we? So the colours that will be going are things like boho blue, copper, clay, wild wheat, those kind of neutrally colours, moody mauve, and there's one other, which I can't quite think what it is. So if you really like those colours, they will be retiring. So grab ink refills, cardstock, ribbon, that kind of thing now while they're still here, because they will go quickly. And then in May, some exciting new in colours will come again, and I'll do my in colour club again then too, so which is lots of fun. So I hope you enjoyed today. Thank you for joining me, even if I'm not quite live. I will be checking these comments and appreciate you being here. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And I think the option is to click on the bell and you'll be told of notifications in the future. Reach out to me if you've got any questions, if you'd like the current catalogues, or if you're not on my newsletter, I'd love you to sign up. Then you'll be kept up to date with all that's happening with specials and catalogs and exclusive tutorials and lots of things like that. So thanks again for being here. I look forward to seeing you next week live, when I will be actually there too. So thanks for joining me again. We'll see you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.